Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Right Time, a Wave original. My name is Bomani Jones. Thanks for listening wherever you get your podcast. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Subscribe, like, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. You only give us 4 stars. I'm inclined to believe you are a hater. We're going to talk about the hockey in a little while. Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's a real hacksaw Jim Duggan sort of situation right now with that. But anyway, we're going to talk about that. But first, Ryan, I can't remember. I think we talked about this in the last show. I can't remember if I explicitly made the point. But, you know, the NBA's got this problem, which is we be trying to, and I know we talked about this, we be trying to shake off that football Jones.
Yes.
Right? And then all we typically get was the dog shit of the NBA All-Star game.
Right.
And that just doesn't do enough. And that leads to everybody. Like, it's just the time. The NBA is not what people want at that moment. And so it becomes an opportunity for people to project all their unhappiness onto the NBA for reasons that don't really have that much to do about the NBA, except the NBA be making it easy, right? So if there's anything we know about the NBA, you correct me if I'm wrong here. I think I've talked about this before also. The commissioner of the NBA is real online. So if like y'all get online and start talking about what kind of things y'all think or something need to be changed, don't you worry. Adam Silver will hear you, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that there will be changes, but you get to talk it in your podcast or on threads even perhaps, and the NBA is going to have some sort of response, or at the very least, they're going to say something to you, right?
So yeah, you have to imagine that the NBA almost gets like these briefs of the people's takes.
Yes.
Like it shows
whose
up.
job is it, right?
Yeah.
Who works in the podcast research department?
There's certainly somebody.
They'll be like, well, you know, Bill Simmons on his show the other day, he said ... right? But anyway, Adam Silver has heard us loud and clear about the tanking thing. And according to Shams Charania, there are 7 potential anti-tanking rule changes that are on the table. I am going to read them all off to you because I want to see if you get the same conclusion that I have received after reading the 7. First one is that first round picks can be protected only top 4 or top 14 plus. So for those of you who don't understand what this is about, and by those of you I'm referring to my mother, you can trade first round picks in the NBA with caveats. Like it's a 2027 first round pick. If that pick is in the top 8, the team trading the pick away gets to keep it. But if it's outside the top 8, then the pick has to be traded. And if it's not like the top 8, then there's a second round pick next year that conveys in order to make the trade work. It's a way to kind of like minimize the risk of trading away a first round pick and give picks kind of a sliding value because of the way the NBA salary cap works. Picks are very important currency in order to make trades work. The nature of what it means when you trade away a star player, you're in effect starting over. So you want like more opportunities to help you with the rebuild, right? More supplies. It's like a gift card to Home Depot. You understand what I'm saying? But it can't just be a blank check to Home Depot. Okay. Number 2, lottery odds freeze at the trade deadline or a later date. Ryan, I understand why people think that this is a good idea. This is a horrendous idea.
It's a horrendous idea.
Right. You're just changing what it is that people are going to be throwing games.
Yeah, like we don't like the idea that people tanking during football season when no one's watching.
Yes.
The idea that that's better makes no sense.
If you put this provision in, Lauri Markkanen would not have played a game until like now.
Yeah.
Right? Like, no. This is a horrendous idea. Number 3, no longer allowing a team to pick top 4 in consecutive years and or consecutive bottom 3 finishes. I am okay with this idea, right? First of all, we have to stop pretending as though the purpose of the draft is to redistribute talent. The purpose of the draft is to keep salaries low and to maintain control over players, with a secondary benefit being the redistribution of talent. Right. It is not a fundamental purpose of the draft. It is a secondary notion that has been added to justify the indefensible practice of having a draft in the first place. That's how it works. So anyway, I say all that to say there is no birthright that says that just because you sorry you deserve to get an early pick. A pick that, by the way, you'd probably fuck up anyway. We might be saving some kids by doing this, actually, right? They getting sent to the wrong foster homes, and they still turn out to be, you understand what I'm saying. Anyway, number 4, teams can't pick top 4 the year after making the conference finals, which feels like a provision that is specifically geared toward this year's Indiana Pacers.
Correct.
Right? So you had a good player get hurt, and it messes up your whole season. You're not just going to tank this whole thing away. This would also have applied to the 2020 Golden State Warriors.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but talk about someone who didn't do anything with those picks either.
That's what I was about to say. They don't seem to know how to do this either.
Yeah.
Number 5, lottery odds allocated based on 2-year records. I kind of see what you're saying. I don't think this will help you.
Sounds complicated.
Yeah. I don't think this will help. Number 6, the lottery extended to include all play-in teams. Okay. I mean, that's basically saying you're disincentivizing the idea of trying to tank out of the play-in.
Right.
Okay, get that. And number 7, flatten odds for all lottery teams. This is what the lottery used to be, right? One envelope for every team, pull one out, and then you go from there. And it would always be the Clippers, who were so sorry but would never get the number 1 pick, except the one time they got the number 1 pick, they got a dude that was really cold but couldn't stay healthy, who they eventually traded for Dominique Wilkins. Yeah. Anyway, the idea behind flattening the odds on the lottery is it disincentivizes tanking because there's no reason for you to be abject. If you're in the lottery, you are then just in the lottery. I can live with that. Like I say, it was a world that was like that. The NBA, though, is notoriously reactive. Like, I don't know if you remember this one, Ryan. So in 92, the Magic won the lottery. They drafted Shaq. The next year, they were the number 9 seed in the East. The way the lottery worked, that at that time was a pyramid. The worst team, I think, got 15 ping pong balls, next 14, 13, 12, 11, all the way down. As I recall, there were 66 ping pong balls in there. The Magic had 1 out of the 66 ping pong balls. The Magic won the lottery, meaning that Shaquille O'Neal got to be paired with Penny Hardaway, it turned out.
Yeah.
They immediately changed the lottery.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this is what they're good for. An outlier result happens. And all these sports are like this. An outlier result happens. And now suddenly the BCS was notorious for operating like this, right? Something weird happens and you never give the system a chance.
Then the formula changes or one poll's thrown out all the time, right?
Yes. I read all 7 of those things off just to make this point. They don't know what to do, right? They're just like, who's got ideas, huh?
Yeah.
They're like, just throw stuff out here. We'll see if we can come up with something because we have this problem with tanking. And tanking is a reflection of what I believe is a larger problem. And maybe I'm overestimating I'm estimating in the wrong way. I'm not exactly sure how to express it, but this is what I'm saying here. I think there's a larger problem, but even if the larger problem is corrected to a degree, perhaps tanking still exists. Now, what I am going to say is the larger problem, and I think is like tanking is a great talk show topic. I also think that tanking matters on the level that we don't talk enough about, which is you still charge people money to come watch these games, right? You have an obligation to offer something to your paying customers. And like Mark Cuban had a thing where he talked about your fans will understand that you're trying to lose. No, I think that that's a very particular like strain of online, I want to be the GM fans that really appreciate it. I think that people ultimately understand it, but if you want me to pay money to come to your arena, and I think people would like to pay money to come to your arena. You can't just be out here like we give up, we don't care, right? But I think the league has a larger problem, and that is the perception that the regular season doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a perception that it doesn't matter if you're good. It's a perception it doesn't matter if you're bad. That it simply does not matter That's the part the league has to fix. And how the league got here, to me, is really, really interesting. Because 10 years ago, the regular season really, really mattered. And 15 years ago, oh, buddy, did the regular season ever matter? Look, I know we're at a point where I ain't got that many people who won't be able to say that they remember this. But the LeBron Miami Heat 4 years, every game they played mattered. We were doing A1s on television shows basically every time the Heat played, unless it was a football game. That same day.
Every game was a referendum of that team, the team decision they all made.
Yes.
LeBron's legacy, what LeBron's going to do next.
Yeah. For 4 years. Every single game mattered. And then when that was over, we wound up with this weird thing after that was over. LeBron leaves and goes to Cleveland, and we think that's going to be the story because we've got LeBron, we got Kyrie, they got Kevin Love, right? That was going to be the story. And then the Warriors happened. And then the Warriors had that year. They came out of nowhere. I mean, keep it in mind, they fired a coach who brought them back to relevance. That seemed like Joe Lacob, I don't think I've said it out loud, but, I wondered. You know what I'm saying?
You considered.
Yeah. It was a hypothesis worth testing. And then they won 67 games. And it was like, oh, my bad. I didn't understand what it was. But the next year they won 73. The regular season really mattered. Them winning 73 games mattered enough that Kobe's last game was on ESPN2. And the Warriors trying to break the Bulls record was on ESPN. And then the combination of them losing in the finals to the Cavs, plus them signing Kevin Durant immediately after, and the regular season has not mattered since. Right? Like, what would the Warriors record had to have been in 2017 for people to really think they weren't going to win a championship? I mean, I was on some, hey, man, you never know, right? Like, nah, man. Nobody else was going for that like I was. No one else gave that the credulity, I believe that is the word, that I gave that.
It's not even that they were just good. They were good, and they were historically good off the jump, and they were still good at defense, too.
Yeah, you just couldn't talk yourself. It was just really difficult to talk yourself into thinking anything that happened mattered in terms of determining who the champion was going to be. And it happened in a manner that people found to be somewhat distasteful. Like, nobody did anything wrong there. What was Kevin Durant supposed to say? No, man, they too good. Why would I do that? What were the Warriors supposed to say?
I'm going to sit here and hang out with triple-double cocaine there.
Yes. Like, right. What were the Warriors supposed to say? Hold on, man, that won't be fair to the other kids. Right? Like, no, it was the move, but it didn't feel like the regular season mattered that much when LeBron and Anthony Davis got together. It was somewhat interesting, like when Chris Paul went to Phoenix and they popped up. But like,
the Brooklyn Nets experience.
Yeah.
That 2020 year when they brought Harden in.
Yeah. But like, I'm asking this. What would it take in 2026? What would have to happen to like make NBA regular season like, hey, this game is happening tonight and this is the thing? I don't know, like, what winning streak would have to happen? If a team had a 19-game winning streak, are people waking up every morning to find out if they won the game they played the night before? I don't think they are, right? Like, I think about this in the context of baseball because this isn't just an NBA problem. This is an everybody but the NFL problem, right? And it's been a long time since we've had a super long hitting streak. How many games of a hitting streak would somebody have to get to for us to care? So there are hitting streaks that I can remember in my lifetime. I don't remember the Pete Rose 44-game hitting streak, right? But my dad and my brother were actually at the game in Atlanta when it ended, right? But the fact that I can tell you the number of games and I remember it, that tells you what the magnitude of that was. I believe in 1987, Benito Santiago had a 34-game hitting streak as a rookie. And Paul Molitor, it was either 38 or 39, but I could remember these numbers, right? Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak was a thing. If somebody had a 45-game hitting streak, will we care? You know what I mean? Like, does that break through? If somebody was hitting 390 going into September, does that break through? I don't know. Like, I don't know at all what would have to happen in the NBA. Like, average triple-double for a season. We've seen that. You know what I mean? Would somebody have to be like, yo, what if somebody was averaging 40 points a game? Does that break through? I don't know what it is that breaks through. But that, to me, is really the larger NBA issue because as a result, the only NBA thing that matters is tanking. Right? Like, look, we have two really big building rivalries that are going to matter in the postseason, I believe. In the West, it's San Antonio and Oklahoma City. And in the East, it is Detroit and New York, right? Teams that actively dislike each other and are also all four, I would argue, independently compelling.
And strong fan bases who care.
Yes. We gonna talk about the idea of tanking more than that, just because of the declining significance of the regular season. And I don't have an answer for the NBA about how exactly you go about getting to the place of making people care. You know what? I don't know if I'm gonna throw it out there like it's a full-on idea per se, but I'm gonna throw it out there. Now, Ryan, how much you care about NASCAR?
2 out of 10.
Okay. Do you know what they have a tendency to do periodically when NASCAR interest is low? You know what they always suggest that people do?
I'm not sure where you're going with this, but let's find out together.
Bring back fighting. A little bit more paint swapping. Cats on Victory Lane, Victory Road, whatever they call it. Engage in this.
NASCAR, underrated fighting sport.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And fighting in a very interesting sense. It's like, they coming in, they like Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Like the 147s, right? That's what they out there doing.
And it is an interesting fight. It's like, you almost killed me with your car. Let's get in light fisticuffs.
Yes. Like, did you see that clip? Whatever the clip, but that Miami-Memphis game where Miami's beating the dog shit out of Memphis, and some dude from Miami ran into Scottie Pippen Jr. from behind and took him out.
Yes.
And Scottie Pippen Jr., it was so funny because he got up and he just it looked like he just shook it off, right? Like he got up and was just like, and then he went out, he was ready for the ruckus.
Ready to go.
It felt great. It felt great. And like, it was good to know that somebody was about that action.
Right.
Show me that you care. Like fighting in the Isaiah Stewart, I know that he cares. Fighting in the regular season is how you show me that you care. That's all we need is some reason to believe that these games matter, right? Rings culture is a big problem in this also, right? Everybody's playing for a championship. And I understand, right? Everybody's playing for a championship. Everybody thinks they could be a champion. Most of y'all just need to be out here for a good time. That's what we're really here for.
Especially when the checks are so large.
Yeah. I'm not talking about like as fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just here for a good time, man. Like we make the games matter. Make this something to stay consistently in our lives. Don't make the only way that you can enjoy this is if you start thinking like corporate. Well, if you look at our projections for what we're going to do in year 2027, I think we're really on the no. The here and now has to matter. The here and now has to feel like something. The here and now has got to be important. And I just wish I had an answer for you on how to solve that. I don't know what it is. I don't know. But you got to have that because otherwise we just going to be talking about tanking every year because they always going to find a way to tank. You know, Ryan, I was in Canada last weekend during the Winter Olympics. And it's very interesting being in a place during the Winter Olympics where they don't call them the Winter Olympics up there. They just call them the Olympics.
Yeah, the Olympics. Yeah.
Yeah, like those in Canada, those the real Olympics, right? That is their time to
What's
shine.
this track bullshit?
Yeah. They're like, man, you got us out here rooting for these Jamaicans. You know what I'm saying? They're like, nah, this is our shit. They got they do the hockey. They got the curling. You know what I'm saying? They
got the running up skis uphill.
They've got all their things, man. It is their jam. Like in the elevator, it was a sign that was like, yo, this is all the stuff from the Olympics that they're going to be showing at the bars at different times. Like it was a thing, man. And so I am fascinated kind of sort of by the idea of Team Canada in hockey. I don't know if fascinated is the right way to put it, but I think for those of us who are just kind of aware of hockey, I don't think a lot of people properly or fully appreciate like hockey really is theirs. The NHL, we can't tell because they just all white folks to us. And so unless you got all the consonants in your name, we don't really understand that like those is Canadians out there. Right? Like that's a league full of Canadians. As a result, Team Canada in hockey is very similar to Team USA in basketball. The difference is in Canada, they actually like the hockey team. Right? Like when they win, they celebrate with the same fervor with which they ruminate in the event of a loss, right? It's a thing for them. And so I saw they was playing against the United States, and I'll never forget this because, you know, I used to do work for a company called The Score that was based out of Toronto, and it was in 2010. And that was the year that Vancouver hosted the opening ceremony, the Winter Olympics. And I remember watching the closing ceremony, and I did not realize like how much Canada thought about us until I watched those closing ceremonies. I mean, they really all the jokes were just kind of about what Americans think of Canada, right?
Yeah.
All of that was the case, right? Like
there's a little bit of Alabama, Auburn to USA, Canada for sure.
Yeah.
Or Michigan State, like something like that.
Yeah. They give us a lot of thought, and it's nothing personal, but we don't.
You're correct.
It don't really come up, you know. And part of it is most of them live close to a border with us, and relatively speaking, we don't. Anyway, it's a thing for them. But their hockey team, they really, really, really care about that. And I saw that Sidney Crosby was not going to be playing, but they had a whole other team full of Canadians, right? So they probably should have been okay. And another factor, this is very important, as I discuss the fact that they think about us. They don't really fucking with us right now.
No.
They're not.
No, they do not.
Yeah. The whole Trump thing and tariff thing and all kinds of other stuff. Like, I didn't feel no glares or nothing like that when I was up there in Canada, but let's be honest, they know it ain't my fault. Like, I don't know. They on some enemy of my enemy type situation with me. At least that's the presumption that they making. I don't know how they was treating the American whites. For me, they probably looking at me like, sup, brother man? You know what I'm saying? Like they see what time it is. But anyway, I guarantee you, they were unhappy that the USA brought home that gold in that hockey match. I ain't even looked. I can just promise you, there are none too pleased up there in Canada about that one. Right? Wasn't it off of a odd man rush?
Yeah, I mean, it's so the overtime specifically is 3-on-3, so it's just like,
which is incredible, by the way.
Yes, it's incredible. It's fast paced. It's really opened up, and it's a classic, you know, like a hockey soccer match where the real nerd stats really favored Canada, like expected goals and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, us gritty Americans just found a way to pull off the victory on a counterattack and ended up winning the goal 2-1 first goal in 46 years.
And didn't they have a 5-on-3 penalty kill?
Yes.
Against Team Canada.
Yeah.
Again, they supposed to win, every year.
Right.
That's how this goes. America's first goal since 1946. Does that mean they
In
stopped?
1980, 46 years ago.
Yeah, 46 years ago. Sorry. It was 1980. And my question is, does that mean that we can stop talking about that?
I'm not sure.
I don't.
Not to be dark, but probably until someone very prominent in our industry.
Fair. The thing about the Miracle on Ice is it's very difficult without the Cold War like being present to explain like the U.S. Soviet Union. I mean, that really was Auburn, Alabama every day.
Yes.
For decades. Between two countries.
For 45 years.
Yeah, with really big bombs. Right? It was every day. And they had like a team full of grown-ups. You know, like they would. Here's something America doesn't really get the opportunity to be very often.
The underdogs.
Underdog. Right? Like we are giving points in just about every situation. Hockey is a rare place athletically where America really is the underdog in such a way where as long as they don't tear up the hotel, even our professionals, all they got to do is really go out there and give it the old college try and we'll be happy with it. And when they win, it's always emotional, right?
Right.
Like at any time we win, it winds up being an emotional situation because once again, this ain't really what we do.
No.
It ain't it, right? And then we had what was my man's name? Was it Johnny Gaudreau?
Yes.
Right? So if you hadn't seen this a couple years ago, hockey player, he would have been on this Olympic team, was cycling with his brother, got killed by a drunk driver. And so his kids are there for the game and they got his jersey and they take the picture with it and everything like that. Like if America's going to win the gold in hockey, we're going to have a great story.
Yeah.
Great story around it, right? The American soccer team is interesting because they done got to the point. You know what? Here's why I say American hockey is right in the sweet spot. They're good enough where you got a chance, but not quite good enough that they're really going to disappoint you.
Correct. It would have been a bummer, but it would not have been a disappointing result like, USA basketball.
Yeah. Like they rarely just go flat out like shit to bed.
They'd have to lose to a country that most people hadn't heard of.
Yes. But if they don't win, it's okay. It kind of goes. USA soccer, they still ain't like they ain't got good enough to where you could just like they are at the come on guys.
Yeah.
Like what's the excuse here?
They're at the point now where they get crap for not being like American gritty hustle people enough.
Yes, and people want it really bad. Like with the hockey team, you really only think about it when the Olympics come up or whatever world championship they might have. People think about that American soccer team all the time, year long, and they're tired of waiting.
Yes.
We will be waiting for a very, very, very long time. Now, look, man, we got to recognize both of these sports, man. We both know that America ain't serious about neither one of them. Because if they were, what America does when it's serious about winning at something. It take them a long time to get there, but when America's serious about winning, they go get black people. That's what they do. If they were serious about any of these sports in the Winter Olympics, it would be a lot more black people out there. It'd be a whole lot more programs saving kids from gangs and shit by having them out there. Like Chicago would just be, they had the one brother, Shawnee Davis, a few years ago. But it would just be a whole bunch of brothers out here speed skating. White people already think we faster than them, but somehow, would you think that changes because of skates? No. Y'all just ain't serious. Y'all ain't really trying to win. I'm not saying that winning means having a bunch of black people, but I do know when y'all serious about winning, y'all gonna give us a chance. That's what y'all gonna do. Same way with the soccer team. Y'all ain't really serious about winning, right? You would simply like to win. And that's fine, right? We get it. For the soccer team, they need to be a little more serious. For the hockey team, perfect level of seriousness, right? Just a nice baseline level of seriousness that allows us to appreciate the good and take the bad in stride. America's relationship with USA Hockey, the healthiest relationship in sports. Ever wanted to go to the NBA Finals? Well, now's your chance, courtesy of FanDuel. All you have to do is use your profit boost on an NBA future, and you'll be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for two. NBA futures let you lock in your pick for who you think will go all the way, whether it's a team to win the championship or a conference title. Visit FanDuel.com/Bomani to get started. Play your game with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA.
21 plus and present in select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kansas, Wyoming. Opt-in requirement. Awards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsduel.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
It's the biggest time of year for college basketball. Great moments, fierce rivalries, and incredible high-stakes action. Teams face off against each other, and along the way, there are surprises, comebacks, and upsets. It's anyone's game. Well, regardless of who makes it to the final round, one thing's for certain. It takes the most talented people to build these incredible teams. The same goes when you're hiring. If you want your business to be at the top of its game, you need the best people on your team. The place to find them is ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Bomani. ZipRecruiter's smart matching technology immediately finds qualified candidates that check all your boxes. ZipRecruiter recommends screening questions you can easily add to get the highest quality applicants. Want to see who's recently active? ZipRecruiter's filters can show you. Score the best for your team with ZipRecruiter. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Bomani. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Bomani. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
We know you can't be on top of all the news and information of the day. No need for the social media feeds. We got you. Now, if you haven't heard.
All right, Bo, if you haven't heard, Floyd Mayweather coming back into the league. He is going to be fighting Tyson and a exhibition fight on Netflix. And then he is, according to break news, retiring to get back into the boxing game. What'd you make of this news?
First of all, there's no way you're getting me to watch Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather in an exhibition. Like that just doesn't even make any sense. Right? Like Jake Paul, I was really hoping Mike, like, not in an illegal way, but, you know, if Jake Paul would have died, I'm sure someone would have been sad. Anyway, I know Mike can't do that to Floyd Mayweather, right?
Of course.
Like, I'm fully aware that he can't do that to Floyd Mayweather. I don't want to watch Floyd Mayweather dotting Mike's. I don't know what I'm watching this for.
It feels like elder abuse for both parties.
Yeah. Like, I don't. What that feels like, and we understand this about Mike, but it's insane about Floyd, especially combined with the idea that he will be unretiring. It just feels like two dudes who need the money. And there's no way Floyd Mayweather needs the money, right? Right? Like,
we're going to find out how much he needs the money.
Yeah, I mean, and
we're going to find out. If we get Mayweather Pacquiao 2.
Because we know that Manny needs the money.
Correct. Or someone else who might need the money. If we get Mayweather McGregor 2.
Oh, God. Yeah. Look, man, it's one thing that is never going to change. Boxers always going to need the money, man.
Yeah.
They are. None of them save. It's not even like none of them save. It's that there's no infrastructure in place to make sure they do good things with their money.
Right.
Like, all the people who are around you as a boxer to get a hand on your money, none of them wish you well. Not a single one of them wishes you well.
It's also a bizarre sport where your best case for keeping your money is not fighting,
Yes.
but also you only get paid if you fight. So like you're always in sit, and then you have to spend all this money training.
Yeah. I mean, and
And
the roots of the business are just steeped in criminality.
yes, yes,
Like, that is art. Like, I just got through reading this book about like the Silicon Valley people that try to go into selling weed, like legal weed, but it winds up being this awkward thing for them because you have to deal with some actual drug dealers along the way when you kick it like that. But there are no like Silicon Valley people, it feels like, that go into boxing. No, it's just all of them.
yeah. The most respectable person who's going into boxing now is Dana White.
And
That is the most. Yeah, like the current people involved in boxing now. Dana White, Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah. Well, and Al Heyman. Al
Al
Heyman
Heyman.
yeah, Al Heyman's probably the one, right? Like, Al Heyman was a reputable man in the world that he was in before. But this is just, if Floyd needs the money, this is, whew, boy, what an economy.
All right. Speaking of Silicon Valley dudes doing things that are unlikable, Sam Altman found a new low. Let's take a listen.
Hold on. Right fast. Remind people who he is.
Sam Altman, well, how would you describe Sam Altman? The leader of OpenAI?
Yeah, he's the CEO of OpenAI.
CIO of OpenAI found a new low in his view of humanity. Let's take a listen.
One of the things that is always unfair in this comparison is people talk about how much energy it takes to train an AI model relative to how much it costs a human to do one inference query. But it also takes a lot of energy to train a human. It takes like 20 years of life and all of the food you eat during that time before you get smart. And not only that, it took like the very widespread evolution of the 100 billion people that have ever lived and learned not to get eaten by predators and learned how to like figure out science and whatever to produce you, and then you took whatever you took. So the fair comparison is, if you ask ChatGPT a question, how much energy does it take once its model is trained to answer that question versus a human? And probably AI has already caught up on an energy efficiency basis measured that way.
These guys hate people. Like, fundamentally, like I did a residency at the University of Dayton a few months ago, and I was talking about the kids using AI to do their homework and stuff, and I'm like, why are you out here making it easier for them to replace you? Right? You are contributing to your own replacement when you do this. We have completely devalued human beings, right? Him saying that out loud in that way and in that room where no one seemed to be aghast.
Yeah, people laughed awkwardly, but no one was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Like the rest of us were like, ugh. I'm telling you, man. Ryan, what's the name of that book we read?
They built it, everybody dies.
Yeah. If someone builds it,
everyone dies.
Everyone dies. And it's just about superhuman AI and how it's pretty much guaranteed that if it comes around, it's going to kill us all. It has been made very clear that it will destroy us in order to preserve itself.
Because that's the type of logic it has.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, and because that is the type of logic, and that is a person awkwardly, clumsily trying to make the point of that logic, not A to B of that logic.
Yes. And by the way, the people who wrote the book, If Someone Builds It, Everyone Dies, are people that are like, hey, we're trying to be cool about this. But
that's the thing, is like everyone who quits, like, we're trying to be cool. It's okay, but this is very, very dangerous and I can't be a part of it anymore.
Yeah, right. And the point that was made that I thought was most important was, we don't know when it'll go too far. We know it will happen. It could happen in 100 years. It could also happen in 5. We just don't know.
All right. Crazy news in the travel world over the weekend. It was reported by the New York Times that TSA was canceling its PreCheck program as of 6 a.m. Sunday morning. TSA got on Twitter and responded. This time, TSA PreCheck remains operational with no change for the traveling public. As staffing constraints arise, TSA will evaluate by a case-by-case basis and adjust operations accordingly. Courtesy escorts, such as those for members of Congress, have been suspended to allow officers to focus on the mission of securing America's skies. Bo, what was your reaction to this news?
Hey, man, for those of you who don't know, it's a crazy blizzard in New York City, right? Like, the idea of getting in and out of here had to be ridiculous. And can you imagine? Because they said they had shut down PreCheck at 6 a.m. Can you imagine if you had that 8 a.m. flight and you just kicking it like you usually kick it, and then you get there and that line isn't there? Like what?
I can't imagine like place where like people are already mad enough about having to travel.
Mhm.
Like people have their angry face on. People don't want to interact with everybody. And like what do you mean there's pre-check lines closed?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, no. That had to be the only day at the airport that had to be worse than that one was the first day that they told people they couldn't bring their lotion. It had to be in the small canisters. That was like, I always said, the ashiest day in the history of the friendly skies. People just wasn't prepared for having to be all crackly and shit like that. That just ain't what they saw coming. But when I started seeing the reports of people being like, nah, but the pre-check was open at this airport, it felt like the airport was treating it like when corporate says, okay, you can only give people 1 pack of ketchup with their fries. And they're like, whatever. Just throw a handful in there. Like, what
it's
they gonna
my
do?
ketchup.
Yeah. And it's like, hey man, what exactly do we have to lose from this one right here? No. Y'all go ahead and go through. Like they was like, y'all ain't gonna make our jobs no harder than they have to be.
We already have to explain to people about the lotion rules that have been in place since 2003.
Yes, yeah, it is like, nah, man, not today, not today. Y'all come on. You know what? Pre-check for everybody. How about that? Because that's the thing for me about pre-check is supposed to be some level of additional security. Have you heard about anybody getting turned down for pre-check who wasn't a convicted felon? Like, I'm assuming if you're a convicted felon that they got, like, some stuff for you. But otherwise, they ain't letting anybody get on pre-check. That shit ain't exclusive at all.
No, I mean, I think it costs $80 for 5 years.
Yes.
And I think 20 million people have it.
Yeah, I tell you this, though. That global entry took long enough to make me believe that they're doing some double checking on that one.
All right, Bo. A lot of good voicemails. Here's our first.
Hey, Bomani. This is Mike from Detroit. First time, long time. I just want to let you know that I'm loving the deep dive into rap in 1996. It takes me back to some great musical memories. Listening to the episode when you and Wally Sparks were talking about Akinyele's Put It In Your Mouth took me back to another set of musical memories that are very near and dear to my heart, and I'm quite sure quite a few of some of your listeners, and that is when I first stumbled upon BET's Uncut one late night. My eyes couldn't believe what they were seeing, and my ears couldn't believe what they were hearing. It totally blew my mind, so I have 2 questions for you. 1, what were your initial thoughts when you first saw Uncut? And 2, what is the most memorable video you can remember, and why is it Nelly's Tip Drill? Honorable mention to what that thing smelled like. Appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing. Peace.
All right, so the answer to your tip drill question, because I was just like, this
I love when people produce the show for me.
Yeah. I was just like, this all has to just be going tip drill. Because I don't remember the first time I saw BET Uncut, but I do remember. So me and one of my homies, it's got to be 2004. I am in graduate school, not doing well, not very happy. My homeboy is in graduate school in a program in education. He had no real intention of being a teacher, but he became a teacher because if you did the graduate program, it came with a job. And he was like, hey, why not? And he's a very large man. So they put him in 7th grade with the kids with behavioral disorders. Again, someone who had no intention of ever being a teacher. Just throwing it out there. Anyway, the details and the particulars don't really matter. But sometime during the 2nd semester, those kids got a new teacher. And my man had a lot of free time. And so he would just be up. And he told me that he had seen the video for Tip Drill and that it was so wild that he thought about calling me. Keeping in mind, BET Uncut came on at 2:00 in the morning. Okay. And I told him if in his heart he believed that this was something that I truly needed to see, then he should go ahead and call me the next time it came on. And sure as shit, bring! He called me. I picked up the phone. I stumbled out of bed. I went to the living room. I turned on BET. and I thought it was a dream. I couldn't believe that this was real life. And I was so hazy and fuzzy that I did not have the opportunity to recognize the girls I went to college with who were in the video. Because I want to say they shot it at Ray Buchanan's house in Atlanta. And that video is like 7 minutes long. That's the other thing. And look, here's the thing. Generally speaking, you go back and watch the stuff that felt so risque back in the day, and it don't land the same way. Like you go back and watch them old Luke videos, it don't hit the same way. You go back and watch the Rump Shaker video, and the Rump Shaker video was like too hot for TV when it came out. I mean, it's still pretty dope, but it don't hit the same way. The Tip Drill video is just as ridiculous today as it was in 2004. Like, what are we doing? Also, I think Shake It Like a Dog, Cain and Abel is the one that my man did that. Shake It Like a Dog. That was and it was the dude from Alaska. What was his name? Joker the Bail Bondsman. That was also him. Ryan, you're learning a lot right now, aren't you?
Oh, I know about Cain and Abel.
That one I bet. But Joker the Bail Bondsman, I feel like was not something that you were prepared for. Yeah, he's a rapper from Alaska named Joker the Bail Bondsman.
You learn something new every day.
Yes. By the way, did I also tell you about my man Leighton, Walshy Fire? But a dude, my RA from college, performing at the closing ceremony of the Winter Olympics. That happened today.
What?
Yeah. He's one of the Major Lazer cats.
Incredible.
I went to dinner with him in Barcelona a couple of years ago, and I was like, oh, this is my richest, most famous friend. I hadn't seen Leighton in 20 years. He was telling me about his life. I was like, God damn, this is crazy.
Yeah, musician money is different. All right, here's our next one.
Okay, Bo, I like The Simpsons just as much as you, right? I'm going to ask you, in the Simpsons universe, who do you think would have been on the Epstein files? And who do you think would have just shocked you? I'm going to say the obvious. I think Mayor Quimby, no doubt, would have been in the Epstein files. Krusty the Clown, I'm going to throw, I don't think Mr. Burns would have been in there, but I think Waylon Smithers would have been on the in the Epstein files. But I'm gonna say the most shocking one, I believe, what's his name? Groundskeeper Willie. I think Groundskeeper Willie would have been the biggest shock. But if you want to add to it, man, I'd appreciate it. Love the show.
All right. Krusty the Clown definitely would have been in the Epstein files. I don't think Mayor Quimby played like Democrat, right? Like, I don't know if he's hanging out. And I feel
that's unfortunately not necessarily exclusive.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I don't know. I feel like Mayor Quimby's on the board. I would definitely say this. They would never invite Groundskeeper Willie to any of the, like Groundskeeper Willie would be on in the Epstein files and like, where's the groundskeeper? Like, that's where I would see him. Smithers, nah. I don't see that one. The problem with The Simpsons is, in the Simpsons universe, they just ain't enough people with enough paper to get themselves.
I feel like Mr. Burns is like almost, it just has to be. It's like,
no, because I don't think Epstein would let Mr. Burns come around.
Got it.
You know, because hey, here's the thing about Mr. Burns. The thing Mr. Burns does not seem to have much interest in is company. You know, like Mayor Quimby, I see the vision on that one. Mr. Burns, I don't think he got the energy, the vim and vigor that would be necessary. But Krusty the Clown, oh, that's absolutely his kind of party.
All right, here's our next one.
Hey, Bomani. So this is keeping in line with the name game you got going on. It's about the name Dutch. My grandfather was named Dutch. And I just feel like it's one of those names that doesn't matter what race you are, the name Dutch is going to mean something. My granddad, he was a man named Dutch from Compton. And everybody knew, don't mess with Dutch. My uncle, my aunt, whenever they would act up or go crazy, it was, well, you know they got that Dutch blood in them, so they ain't got no sense. So what other name works like that? Where you just know, it don't matter where you from, what color you are, race or creed. If your name is Dutch, you're going to be a fool. Whereas if your name is something like Kevin, it can go either way. Just asking the question. Oh, also shout out to your man, Deontay Lee. He is now the head coach of my high school alma mater, Bonita Vista. We were champions, year 2000, Metro League champions. I still got the t-shirt to prove it. All right, you have a good one.
Hey, what I need to know though is why they call him Dutch. Like, what is the point? What do you have to do to get called Dutch? I've never seen the answer to that, especially if you're not Dutch. You got a guess?
I'm really not sure.
Yeah, like that's the part. But I do. Yeah, when you have a street-like nickname all the way through life, you have earned this.
Yes.
Right? Like,
And
that
you
is
introduce yourself by aforementioned name.
Yeah, like it is an honorific, right?
Correct. It's like
and
coach.
look, like sometimes it's like not really a nickname. For example, do you remember when that dude shot David Ortiz in the Dominican Republic?
I do remember that, yes.
And there was all them stories about what the reason was that I don't know what's like legal or safe to talk about. But the dude that at one time people was saying was behind it, they called him in Las Calles de la República Dominicana, El Abusador, the abuser. And that's not a nickname. Like, there's nothing clever about that. That's not a nickname. That's a job description, right? Like, that's what he does.
Yeah.
That is not an honorific. That is a warning, right? Dutch. If you are Dutch all the way through, that is an honorific. You have earned a measure of respect that gets there before we get to the fear. El Abusador, just fear. Just, I don't know what David Ortiz was thinking. Like, I think we forget. That got real dicey.
Yes.
Real dicey.
Real dicey, real fast. All right, here's our last one.
Hey, Bo, this is Zach out of Long Beach, California. Big fan of the show. Thought I'd call in and just add to the names. Add to the list of names that you typically don't see for white folks. So I want y'all to go ahead and look up a Tavon Kitchen. Tavon is a middle and long distance runner out of BYU. I'm curious y'all's thoughts on Tavon when you look him up. But yeah, thanks so much, y'all.
Hey, Ryan, I don't know if you've noticed this, but the Mormons, they throw some monkey wrenches.
Well, I mean, not to paint with a broad brush, but sometimes I'm just going to say they're picking their 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th favorite name. I'm not saying necessarily how they got to there, but I'm saying they're
No, but I will say this though, because they kind of just put some stuff together. So, like, I don't always understand how the combinations have been put together. What I think would be hilarious is, because I don't know anything about this young man, I don't know where he's from, but it is entirely possible that he is from a place where he has no idea, like he gets out into the world and they're like, why do people think I'm black? They don't understand. Like, he got no idea that
it's never come up.
Yeah, there are these black Tavons out there, right? Like, there's no...
Especially Tavon's a runner.
Yeah, right. But at middle distance, right? But like, where he's
he
at...
shows up to these meets.
Right, like maybe not once in his life has Tavon been read off the roll and he said here and the teacher was surprised, right?
Correct.
He doesn't understand what the joke is, right? He's like when Mike Tirico was like, I don't understand what's going on, guys. I'm Italian. What are you talking about? Why do you keep saying that? That's where the homie Tavon is probably coming down. But if we found out that Tavon like ran the 100, like, for example, I don't know if you know about this, but Chris Collinsworth was a legend in Florida because he was the 100-meter champion in the state of Florida. And this word had gotten around that there was this it was like a mythical thing that there's this white guy. It's because I tell you, none of these young boys in the league have any idea that Chris Collinsworth is fast. That guy on Sunday Night Football.
They think Chris Collinsworth receiver. They think Julian Edelman.
Yeah. Or they thought he was a quarterback.
Yes.
Right? Like, it just doesn't really come up if they even know that, right? But anyway, it was just like this legendary thing. This white boy was just showing up and dusting people. But I also imagine it had to be, keeping in mind that Chris Collinsworth, Chris is C-R-I-S, which is an editorial liberty that the whites normally don't take with their names. There were also some people that was like, what you mean that's Chris Collinsworth? Only to get dusted.
Right.
And I think he went to Abraham Lincoln High School too. Only to get dusted. What an episode, Ryan. What an episode.
Made it.
We did. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us here on The Right Time. We do this 4 days a week. Ryan Brumley handling everything behind the scenes. Thank you, sir. Hit the voicemail line, 323-596-7767. Remember, follow The Right Time. Subscribe, like, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. You only give us 4 stars. I'm inclined to believe you are a hater. We'll talk to you guys in a couple of days. Take it easy.